On today's show,
we debate whether Russell Westbrook's selfish fourth quarter play cost OKC the game.
will Fizdale's rant alter officiating? Should Durant sit out round one? Can the Pacers bounce back against the Cavs?
And let me tell you, man, listen, this week's meme team is absolutely incredible.
It's Thursday, April 20th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Whether you're listening to the podcast, joining us live on NBA TV, later on YouTube, we're very happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
Playoffs.
To his right, the international man mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
Lily.
I'm not Lee. That was weird. That's Lee.
Hi.
And certainly not least, over yonder, it is the bearded one, Trey Kirby.
Hey,
yo! TK, what's up?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag the starters. And guys, Russell Westbrook played a game last night, so you know he showed up wearing something crazy. This time he went with a printed shirt, unbuttoned down to the belt, some chains, a bandana, some sunglasses, and some patchwork denim. And honestly, at this point, you already know what time it is. Time for another round of Fashion or Nah. If you guys like what Russ is wearing, it's fashion. If you don't like it, nah. So let me know what you think about Russell Westbrook's Fashion or Nah look right here.
Yeah. Of course it is.
Yeah, what? That's
Yeah, it's
fashion?
fashionable. Yeah. I mean, I get all of them wrong anyway, so it's probably not. But
I got a feeling our man TK is going to like this one. I think this has got to be fashion.
That looks
Yeah.
like a quilt. Those pants are just
Yeah,
like
I mean, I
Grandma sewed him a quilt on his
I
pants.
don't love the pants, to be honest, but the shirt's really
It
cool.
looks like Johnny Depp, though, with the bandana. I like
Yeah.
that look. All right, it's fashion.
I think it's pretty obvious, guys.
Oh, yeah!
This looks good on everybody. Unbutton your shirts as far as they'll go. Keep one button down on as many chains as you have, and you're gonna be looking like a rock star.
You do look like a rock star.
I appreciate it, but we want to hear from you at home, so hit up our Twitter page at The Starters where you can vote. Is Russell Westbrook's open shirt fashion or not? Get your votes in now. We'll check out the results a little bit later.
We are off to an
Wow.
unbelievable start here on
Killing it.
tonight's show. Lee turned into me. Trey turned into Russell Westbrook. What a fun
Maybe we
show
gotta
this
stop
is gonna be.
saying Lily. Maybe they thought there's two Lees on
It's
set.
possible. It's possible. All right, we got a fun one. We got a brand new edition of the Meme Team, and we will look ahead to tonight's 3 games in the NBA playoffs. But we start by looking back at last night's 3 games, and we play a little true or false. It's the first round edition. Trey's got the true or false questions for us. Go ahead.
All right, Russell Westbrook tallied the highest scoring triple-double in playoff history last night, going for 51 points, 10 rebounds, and 13 assists. But more importantly, he shot 17 for 43 for the game, including 4 of 18 in the fourth quarter as the Thunder lost Game 2 to the Rockets. Guys, true or false? Russell Westbrook cost OKC the game.
That is harsh. That's way too harsh because he got them to that fourth quarter with precise, surgical play. Those first 3 quarters were ridiculous. They were so fun to watch, and that's why the way he went into the fourth quarter was really puzzling because he was phenomenal at getting everyone involved those first 3 quarters, and he had a chance to win this game on the road in Houston. They had a lead, and I'm not sure what happened in that fourth quarter, but he sort of panicked and he sort of went into hero mode from the moment the buzzer sounded, as soon as he stepped on the floor, and it didn't go awry. It went awry from the get-go.
It's hard to criticise a guy who has a 50-point triple-double and say it cost his team the game, but that fourth quarter, the shot selection and some of the looks that he had
Oh yeah.
just weren't very good.
No, he's playing 1 on 5.
Exactly, but that's the problem there. If guys are coming out onto him, or if he's going into the paint and there's too many guys around, somebody is open. Now,
Lots of them.
He's got a bit of a conundrum because he trusts his guys early on, but then he doesn't trust them later on, and when
Yeah.
he does trust them, they don't deliver.
Yeah.
Hero ball can start in the last few minutes of a game, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't start at 12 minutes when Dougie McBuckets is wide open up top and James Harden turns his back on. He's got to make some passes. That's where we forget. Hero ball can be the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game, but it shouldn't be every single minute of the fourth quarter.
What a lot of people, of course, are debating here today, though, is did OKC lose Game 2 because Westbrook went sort of ball hog crazy there in the fourth, or was it because his teammates at the end of the third quarter, when Westbrook went to the bench, blew a lead in about 140 seconds? It was gone.
Yeah, but they
lead
had
was
a lead.
gone.
But they had a lead going into the fourth
And
quarter.
then what happened at the start
He
of the
shot
fourth
4 of
quarter?
18.
You said he played all 12 minutes like a ball hog. That's actually not true. If you go back and watch the first 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, he got to the line once and he missed a driving layup. Otherwise, he watched Doug McDermott miss a 3, Sabonis miss one inside, get blocked inside.
You're telling me those 18 shots,
There's
he
a
played
couple of-
well in the
I
fourth
think what
quarter?
happened was Westbrook said when his team gave up the lead when he was on the bench, and at the start of the fourth when guys were missing some shots, he decided, and I'm not saying it's right, but he decided our best chance to win this game is for me to do what I've done multiple times during the regular season, and that's basically take every single shot. I think that's what he thought was
Yeah.
the best route to a victory, and it obviously he was missing very difficult
You've
shots.
seen him make those shots.
I know.
You've seen him make them, but at some point he has to either take a better look or he has to find someone else who's open. Because also we saw him trying to sort of jump into guys to get fouls and things like that. Just take a good shot if it's there. If it's not there, just move the ball around and try to find a better one.
You have to get your teammates involved until those last few minutes, because you saw him; he was exhausted, and it showed on defense
Yeah,
as well.
that's where he should be ridiculed.
Because he was doing everything on offense, and he played so many minutes. And yeah, Billy Donovan, I think, is to blame a little bit as well, because number one, because they don't have a second unit, and number two, maybe because Russell Westbrook hasn't been told that, hey, pass the ball a little bit more. You don't have to shoot 43 times, because they got to this point into this fourth quarter because he was phenomenal at doing that, at balancing. He still shot a lot, but he just shot a ton in the fourth quarter, and he was gassed. I mean, Russ was.
He was gassed,
He was hanging.
and also Houston played really well in that fourth quarter. When
Yeah.
James Harden was out there, he was moving the ball around because he had a quiet 35 points by his standards. A lot of free throws out there, but you saw Gordon hit a shot, Lou Williams hit a shot, and Patrick Beverley hit big shots as well. That sort of help is what we've talked about all season long with the Rockets. They've got much better spacing around the
So
floor.
who did Russ have in the molds of Lou Williams and Eric Gordon out there in that fourth quarter for a good chunk of time?
come on. These guys.
Just
these-
tell me who's
no,
going to hit
I
quarter
hate the
three.
comparison.
Because McDermott wasn't out there for after Donovan went away from him. There was no shooting. And that's fine. That's their
Hold
game
on.
plan.
How did
Four
they have a
defensive
lead
guys
going
and
into
Russ.
the fourth quarter? How did they have a lead going into
I
the fourth?
get it.
Because he trusted his guys. These are NBA players. They can hit shots.
Right.
It happens.
So what happened at the end of the third quarter when Russ sat? This is
Yeah,
why
well, that
going into
was-
this series we thought he had
They
to play
still had a
48
lead
minutes.
going into the fourth quarter.
They won the
And I'm
game when
saying
Russ
Billy-
was out there, and they lost the game when Russ wasn't out there. So
No,
when
they
he
were
was
leading
sitting
going
there-
into the fourth quarter.
I know, when he sat down, and that lead again was gone.
Evaporated,
It was
yeah.
gone like that.
Okay, but they're
Do
leading
you
going
think
into the
he was
fourth
sitting there
quarter,
going,
so it's not gone.
What are we doing? Okay. Again.
They got there because
I'm
Russ
just
was
asking,
playing a
what do you want him
perfect
to do?
game.
What do you want him to do?
What he did the first three quarters when they had a basketball lead.
So
and
you-
I'm saying Billy Donovan obviously should have gotten guys to play better without him. I think this season, obviously, that has been an issue. That has been a problem. Some blame has to go on Billy Donovan, but some blame
Right.
also has to go on Russell Westbrook for not getting those guys involved enough on the road. In the playoffs, it's hard to win games.
Yeah.
You can't do it 1-on-5. We saw it in the fourth quarter. Russ also showed us the first three quarters how you win a basketball game on the road. You get everyone involved and you take your shots. He did it a little too early. He started way too early in that fourth
I think
quarter.
he decided at some point in that game, is what I'm trying to say, at the end of the third quarter and even into the early into the fourth, he decided, I can't trust my guys right now to hit shots. I think that's what happened. And he thought
but
he
that's
could do
a-
it 1-on-5.
yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. That's not great basketball. But I guess what you're saying is he's got to keep trusting them. You got to keep
Well,
going back
you're
to
sending a
them.
These
mixed
guys are NBA
message
players.
if you
They're NBA
trust them.
players. These guys are not good at hitting shots. That's the truth. I mean,
What happened the
you're
first
trying
three
to compare
quarters?
Lou Williams and Eric Gordon
not.
with some of these guys like Christian
No, I'm
out
not.
there.
No, I'm not.
Oladipo who can't
I'm
hit a shot.
comparing.
They
I'm
can't.
comparing Oladipo
So-
to Oladipo and Cantor to Cantor. The guys who got them to the fourth quarter, winning the
We're going to disagree
game.
on this one. All right, Trey, next one.
Eats first test. You buying this beef? I didn't know we were in the butcher shop. Jeez, moving on. Despite Paul Millsap saying that the Hawks series with the Wizards still feels like 0-0 to Atlanta, Washington's win last night did give them a 2-0 lead as the series heads down south. The Hawks were better on defense last night, but also worse on offense, so true or false, the Hawks can still make this a series.
Yeah, true. They can still make it a series.
Who cares? Did you watch this game
Yeah,
last night?
well, yeah, there was a lot of fouls.
Sorry, I'm all fired up now. But
It
this
wasn't
game,
bad. This game wasn't that
Yeah,
bad.
I mean,
it was long.
yeah,
it was long.
It
This
was
is the
55 fouls in this game.
Yeah, this is the closest thing we're going to get to 80s or 90s ball. These teams hate each other,
Yeah.
and I don't mind it at all. We're watching two teams that absolutely want to throw each other around and fight without fighting, because that's not legal,
Right.
and they play by the rules, and there were no flagrants, but these teams are jawing at each other. I don't mind it one bit. I don't mind this series at all. I still have hopes for it. John Wall is a fantastic antagonizer. The man should be in the WWE. He is so good at that. I think him and Russ, if it was just jaw-jacking and guys who intimidated each other in the NBA playoffs, like no teams involved, those two would be in the finals, I think. They talk a lot.
I think the Hawks last night, you saw they had a good lead as well. They just got to tidy things up a little bit. 6 turnovers in the fourth quarter led to 12 points for the Wizards. And over the 2 games, they're 11 for 45 from three-point range. it's going to be
Take care of the ball. Try and hit a three.
Exactly, yeah.
it would
They
help.
got to win the battle of the front court, though, because they're not going to win the back court.
Yeah, well,
and
Dwight.
it didn't happen yesterday. No, Dwight got killed by
Yeah.
Marcin Gortat.
He can't
Markieff
play.
Morris
He
was
can't
good,
play
too.
when they go
have
small.
to win that.
Yeah.
Trey, final one.
All right, no Kevin Durant, no problem for the Golden State Warriors, at least last night, as Golden State spanked the Trailblazers 110-81 on the strength of JaVale McGee's perfect game, as the big man went for 15 points on 7-7 shooting. Guys, true or false? The Warriors should save Durant until the next round.
False.
False.
False, yeah.
If
I
he's
mean,
healthy,
if he's
obviously.
healthy, then he should just play in the next game if he's healthy. But obviously, if he's not 100%, there's no need to rush him back.
Are you ever 100% at this point
Well, I
of the
think we're
season?
we're all day to day, really, in that respect. But,
That's a deep quote. We're
But
all
the thing is,
day-to-day,
because he
really.
missed so much time towards the end of the regular season, I wouldn't sit him out just for the sake of sitting him out. I would say, how do you feel? Do you feel like you can play? If you can play, then get out there and play. It doesn't do them anything to save him if he's healthy to go.
The biggest worry that the Blazers have is that the Warriors are going to be focused on winning Game 3. Last year, they had 3 series where they went up 2-0, and they lost Game 3 each and every time. So I think they're going to be really focused on just taking care of business in Portland on Saturday.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, though. If he says it's a little bit sore, then there is
Yeah, of course.
no risking that you're going to do this and get him out there. But you'd imagine he'll be back at some point in this series, I think. All right, gotta take a break. We're all fired up here. When we return, we'll stay hyped for a brand new edition of the Meme Team. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Starters. Every Thursday here on the Starters, we hit you with the Meme Team, our favorite weird and wacky moments from the past 7 days.
The meme intensity picks up in the playoffs, as does Draymond Green. Number 5 is the hype man. He's psyching up Kevin Durant in Game 1. Are we going to do this or not, man? Tweets are coming. Richie, the drunk dude in the club, giving you a 2-minute explanation as to why he accidentally stepped on your shoe. Mr. Wesley tweeted, when your homie been lying to his girl all night and you're helping him get his story straight before he goes home. Great stuff in NBA on T Instagram. Put Charles on Kevin's
Hyping
head.
up Chuck.
All right, Draymond.
LeBron told Dave McMenamin last week that he should have been at Coachella. And when his teammates called him out on it, LeBron said, what? Looked like fun. Yes. You know what else is fun? Puns. That's why we had some NBA-inspired Coachella bands like Durant Durant, Lance the Rapper, and Horford and Sons, and so on. Looked like a great schedule. We asked you guys for some. You came through. Blind Mellow, Wall and Oates, Fleetwood T-Mac,
These are great.
and Marv Albert's favorite band, Yes!
At number 3, The Herd with Colin Cowherd endorsed LeBron James for MVP, set to the tune of Cisco's Thong Song.
Harden could be MVP, but he coughs at the ball and he don't pity. Got more turnovers than the bakery. No stats that big, why you asking me? Westbrook been really hot. Then again, he missed a million shots. Some nights he can't hit the parking lot. Try to say he's freaking loco. KD hurt his knee. This shit won't be Steph Curry. Go YBORING. Now let's go to the East. Show Isaiah need to up his game. The same honest, but I can't pronounce his name. And it's so wrong if you don't give it to LeBron. It's the only way to go. MVP, show LeBron.
Cisco get paid for that? Earlier this month, the Canadian man was bulldozed over by a deer
Whoa!
after he exited his vehicle.
I thought Canadian deer were nice.
I guess not. Milwaukee taking on Canada's team in the playoffs, so the Bucks decided to recreate it.
Nice.
Got him. And flashback here, because we're talking about deer. Remember this, the cross-country runner that also got trucked by a deer? Oh, wow.
Be on the lookout.
Well, the Bucks recreated this one as well. Taking out the guy in the DeRozan jersey.
At number 1, Take That for Dadarant that took over the world, inspired an Independence Day mashup by The Ringer.
We don't get the respect that these guys deserve because Mike Conley doesn't go crazy. He has class and he just plays the game. But I'm not going to let them treat us that way. You know, I know Pop's got pedigree and I'm a young rookie, but they're not going to rook us. That's unacceptable. That was unprofessional. My guys dug in that game and earned the right to be in that game, and they did not even give us a chance. Take that for data.
Coach David Fizdale was fined $30,000 for that, but he made his team some money because they're selling some shirts.
Yeah, smart. Take that for that. That's a cool shirt, actually. All right, after the jump, we're going to look ahead to tonight's NBA action, including whether Fizdale's rant will influence the Game 3 officiating. Spicy.
The Starters on NBA TV is brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, proud partner of the NBA. Do your friends proud. Please drink responsibly.
Tonight's NBA playoff schedule. Cavs and Pacers getting started quite soon, 7 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Second game on TNT, Spurs Grizzlies, and sandwiched in between there on NBA TV here, it's the Raptors and Bucks. Cavs and Spurs lead their series 2-0. Raps and Bucks are split, but we got to look ahead at all three of these series. Trey, you got some cues as we head into the action tonight.
Yeah, tonight is the first Grizzlies-Spurs game since David Fizdale's already legendary Take That for Data rant. So do y'all think that Fizdale's rant will have any sort of effect on the Game 3 officiating?
I think it'll have a bigger effect on his team coming out and being ready to play, and that will sway the officiating because they weren't ready to play in Game 2. And listen, that's what happens on home court in the playoffs. These bang-bang calls, a lot of time it goes to the team that has the most energy. They will come out with energy to start this game.
Do you think Fizdale's rant was a little premeditated? Like, because what you're saying, they didn't have a great first half, obviously came out with more energy, and there was a couple, coaching personnel moves that also came into play there with Zach Randolph starting that second half. But do you think that was premeditated to try and fire up his squad?
Well, as far as premeditated goes, apparently he's been tracking this all year in terms of them playing the Spurs and the calls going against them, not just this series. So maybe it's been boiling, within him. It's been Jim boiling within him, but who knows?
It did just seem to sort of build up, and he almost didn't know where to take it himself, that rant. But the fact that Mike Conley sent him a text and said, we'll help you pay for that fine, tells me that his team are going to be like, our coach has got our back, we've got to go out there and certainly perform one for him.
And Conley just tweeted family with a photo of the Grizzlies. They're ready.
All right, Trey, next series.
All right, games 1 and 2 of Cavs-Pacers went pretty much the same. The Cavs got a big lead, then the Pacers came back in the fourth quarter, but couldn't quite seal things with a win. So now that the series is in Indiana, what's the key to a Pacers victory?
I think late game execution at both ends for Indiana. Because really, it's not totally out of the realm of possibility. They were 2-0 up in this series. They lost game 1 when a game-deciding shot from C.J. Miles missed, and then they got back into game 2, but then their last minute and a half execution on both ends of the floor was pretty bad. Bad shot selection from them, and then defensively gave up too many easily baskets. So if I'm the Pacers, a couple of things you just got to tighten up, and you can give yourself a chance to get at least one game in this series.
They sort of need to figure out, and I don't know how you do it, I don't know the answer to it, but the Cavs are killing them with the 1 and 3 Kyrie and LeBron pick and roll. They have no answer for it. They need to play better defense is what I'm getting at. That's the key adjustment for the Pacers because we've been talking a whole lot about the Cavs defense and, flipping the switch, getting a little better. Are they even better in the playoffs so far? But the Pacers defense has been pretty abysmal. And then you're going against a juggernaut team. You're going against the defending champions of the Cavs, so it's never going to be easy. But to have any chance to win the game, they got to get some little lower scores here to pull this out at home.
Just don't get down. You frankly just can't get down double digits. And a key is the third quarter because you're seeing championship teams like the Cavs, the Warriors against the Blazers come out and stomp in the third quarter when they know, we make these little adjustments. This is where we can put our foots on their throat. That's what happened in Game 2. They just have to be ready for it.
All right, Trey, final series tonight.
All right, a Game 1 home loss followed by a Game 2 home win is kind of how things go for the Toronto Raptors. But now that their series with the Bucks moves to Milwaukee, which team takes control in Game 3?
The team that wins this is not in control. There's no control in this series when you go up 2-1. It's going to be a long, long series. But the Raptors they have to continue the ball movement that was there in Game 2 and pick it up even more because there was enough hero ball to go around, even though their assists were good and they're moving the ball a little bit. I'm worried about this as a Raptors fan, a supporter. This Bucks team, they're ready. This team is not backing down from any. They had a bad game in Game 2. In their eyes, they can be better, and I think they will be better at home.
The Raptors made adjustments in Game 2. And now expect the Bucks to make adjustments to the Raptors' adjustments.
Adjustments to the adjustments.
Yeah, and one thing
Yanni get some hats on them.
One thing Yanni talked about was he said the Raptors were just more physical in Game 2, and the Raptors have to be physical. Yanni has to feel a lot of different looks at him, a lot of different bodies coming at him, because we saw once he gets in transition or gets low in the post, he can score over anybody. He can just flip that ball up, or he can just dunk it like we've seen. So the Raptors have to get physical and not let him get into a groove or get comfortable.
I totally agree with Tass, though, here. Despite whoever wins Game 3 tonight, I don't feel like they'll totally be in control. This one's starting to really look like a 7-game series, and the Raps tend to do that a lot, so maybe that's a part of it here. But, they really are evenly matched, and it's going to come down. It's going to be hopefully another close game like it has been, at least in Game 2. That was really
Do you
entertaining.
think this is a must-win for the Raptors tonight?
No. I don't at all. I mean, in fact, I would expect the Bucks to win this game. Though they're not a great home team, which is weird about this whole thing. They're actually tied for the worst playoff team in terms of home wins this season. But we know they've turned it on in the last month or so of the season as a little different squad. But no, I don't think it's must win for either of these squads. I agree with Tass on that.
They got cool shirts though in Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah.
It should be rocking.
Shirts look cool. All right, final break. When we return, Lee's VSP. You're watching The Starters, presented by Jack Daniels, Tennessee Honey. We asked the people out there, hashtag the starters, was Westbrook's open shirt look fashion or nah? Trey thinks it's fashion. He dressed like him.
Definitely.
What do the people say?
54% of people think it's fashion, but I've heard 100% of people think it's 100% fashion when I wear it. That's just what I heard on the internet.
The internet never lies.
VSP time.
Yeah, we've got a quick little boomerang here from Ian Clark. Just a simple one. Here he is penetrating, finds Dave West. Dave West, great passer too from that high post area. Just for a layup. That's all it has to be.
Hey, that's
sometimes.
nice, man.
I know. I like this angle here. Look, beautiful pass, beautiful finish. That's what I call a very solid play.
You know who's good at throwing boomerangs? Ian Thorpe. Fact.
Nice.
All right,
Australia.
it's time for a fan of the night. After Game 1, Paul Millsap said Washington was playing MMA. Wizards' Markieff Morris replied, if that was MMA, we're going to play double MMA. And that's where the fan signs come in. Multiple double MMA signs. You guys are our fans of the night.
Double MMA. What does it mean? Tomorrow we got the Drop Podcast. It's always a blast. We're going to discuss our favorite first round series. We'll hit the beach to read your emails. Get them in. The starters at NBA.com. And Lee's tweet of the week. He'll read a bunch of Twitter handles and eventually get to a tweet.
Oh yeah.
It's always a blast.
I might as well start reading them now. We've got a lot.
That's
Oliver, dabbing at the Clippers and Jazz game a couple of nights ago there. Dabbing is still in, apparently.
Science, a good
No,
sign.
hey, look, it's a simple sign. It's
Great
fine.
stuff. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night, 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, game time coming next. Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, Trey Kirby is more fashionable than Russell Westbrook. It's a fact.
Look at him.
He's also hairier.
Looks like you're in the Duck Dynasty. Praise the night, people.